So I'm back from Girona and I'm going to do a video that I promised, which is comparing Girona, Majorca, Gran Canaria and Tenerife, so that you can decide where's going to be the best place for you to go and get some winter sun, or decide your holiday for next year if you want to try any of those locations. So I reckon let's just get straight into it. Let's start with the closest. So Girona and Majorca are about 2 hours from the UK. Sorry, I've got some potatoes steaming, that's what, if you can hear that noise, that is what that is. So yeah, Girona and Majorca are the closest, 2 hours from the UK approximately. So if you're not from the UK, this might not be that helpful. But yeah, 2 hours, so they are close. Obviously they're not going to have as better weather in like the depths of winter, because it's just going to still be a little bit cool and a little bit damp, whereas Tenerife and Gran Canaria are 4 hours away, so they're going to be hotter, and they just have better temperatures all year round. So I'm going to look at obviously temperature, cafes, and whether, you know, what are the climbs like, because that's why we're going away, aren't we? We want to go and, well, I do. I want to go and climb mountains or hills, or just, yeah. So Girona's climbs were crazy. They were just so, some of them are long and steep. So Rocacorba, long and steep. Mer de Mel du Mont, is that right? I can't remember the pronunciation of it, but that was long and steep as well. Els Angels was pretty steady, and actually I think the rest between the climbs, it's actually quite flat. So you get a variation of, you can do really long steep climbs if you want, you can do steady climbs like Els Angels, or you can do flat riding. The only thing about Girona that I didn't find that good for cycling was there weren't many cafes. So on the rides that we did, we just didn't come across any cafes at all, whether that was weekend or in the week, there was just none. So yeah, that's kind of the negative, I guess, about Girona, whereas in Girona itself there were so many and so many good ones. Majorca in comparison has got cafes everywhere. It is so well equipped for cyclists. Similar weather to Girona. The climbs though, the climbs are nowhere near. I'd not found a steep climb in Majorca. I just haven't been on one, and I've been maybe 4 or 5 times now, and yeah, still not come across one. So yeah, the climbs in Majorca are a lot steadier. So you've got, oh god, there's so many climbs: Ferminia, Sabataya, Soyer, Zacalobra, which is obviously the famous iconic climb, Puig Major, I think that's how you pronounce it. My pronunciation, you've probably figured from this video, is pretty awful. I do try though. And then, which is the other one that I've not said? Oh, what other climbs are there? So many climbs and so many beautiful, like, different climbs. So you've got like the shorter, steady ones like Sabataya, which are just maybe like 6k and just really steady. You've got Zacalobra, which is absolutely just stunning. I love that climb so much, and that is like a spaghetti road, just so many weavings. You've got Soyer, which is switchbacks, and yeah, I think the variation in Majorca is, and just let me just say this, maybe it's because I've been to Majorca so many more times. I've only been to Girona once, but I feel like the climbs in Majorca, there are just so many more in such a small like area. They're much more compact, obviously, just because it's a smaller, I don't know, it just seems a lot more compact, and you get to a lot more climbs really close together. Cafes, like I've said, is amazing, and I think if you wanted like the best of everything, I think Majorca is just really good. Obviously in winter it's not going to be the best weather, but I find that it's just so well equipped for cyclists, and if you are a cyclist that's been there, you will know that. So let's get on to Gran Canaria and Tenerife. They are, like I said, 4 hours away, so you are going to get better weather from them throughout the whole of the year. So when we went to Tenerife, we stayed in Santa Cruz, which is at the top of the north of the island, and for me, I felt like the only real climb there was Mount Teide, which is 40k, about 2,500 meters, and I felt like everything else other than that was just a main busy road, and just weird, like just not nice. It didn't feel like how like Majorca or Girona or Gran Canaria felt. And maybe it was because we were just saying the wrong area. Let me know in the comments if you've been to Tenerife and you found that different. But yeah, that's what we found from that. I felt like it was Mount Teide or really not a lot else. Whereas I feel like there were a lot of cafes though. It was good for cafes. Whereas I feel like Gran Canaria We stayed, I can't remember the name of the area we stayed, but it was about 10k from Maspalomas. So we had a climb, I can't think which it was called, was it Serenity Climb? I can't remember. Which was about 5k from where we were staying, just literally straight up a mountain, and that was absolutely stunning. Like, I was made up with it. Obviously, the climbs that you've got in Gran Canaria, Valley of the Tears, which is an absolute brew. I've checked the stats on that and it says it's 11k. I felt like it was a heck of a lot longer. Maybe it's only 11k, but it was gravelly. It was so hot when we did it. It was about 30 something degrees when we did it. I've done a video of that. I'm going to link all my actual videos from these different places below so you can go and have a look through my whole catalogue of like trips. But yeah, I really like Gran Canaria. Really good weather and a really good variation of climbs. So you've got like the steady climbs and you've got the really steep climbs as well. And obviously it's going to be better in like the depths of winter for it to be warmer. I'll talk about cost actually. So when we go away, we always go self-catering. So we always just go to Aldi, little buy a load of food and then just cook for ourselves. But I did notice in Girona, everything seemed a lot cheaper, especially at cafes. It was so cheap. So the day that I accidentally bought a can of beer, so the beers, bottles of water, juices, it was like €5 or something. It was so cheap when you could actually find a cafe. So it's really difficult to say which one I prefer out of all of them, because they've all got such different good and I guess negative qualities. I do have like just a love for Majorca because I just feel like there's just so many it just feels quite homely because I've been there that many times. Tenerife, I wouldn't rush back to it. Maybe I would if there was more variation at the bottom of the island. Maybe I should go back and try that. Gran Canaria is just good because it's just brilliant weather, and Girona was good because it was just really hard climbs. So I don't know, where are you going to go? Which one do you prefer out of all of them? They're all beautiful and they're all brilliant places to ride your bike. Stop chatting and I will see you next video. Bye.